YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Young Mustard back with another video, and I'm here to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers and why I believe that they are better without Chris Paul. Now, I know a lot of Chris Paul fans are going to probably start screaming in the comment section saying, oh, how could you do this? How could you disrespect Chris Paul? But this is why I'm here to say what I am saying. It's because of one guy and one guy only, basically, and that is Blake Griffin. Now, for years, we know that Blake Griffin has the potential to be a superstar, and I mean a top 10 player type superstar. Not someone who can be the second best player on a championship team, but possibly the best player on a championship team. He has all the tools. He has the physical attributes to be a good or a great defender. He has the offensive ability to, stretch the floor. He can pass very well for not just a big man, but for any player. He can handle the ball, score effectively and efficiently. He is someone that can do everything on the court extremely well. It's just the amount of, motor that he has, the drive. Does he really have the passion for the game? Can he show up in the clutch, in the fourth quarter? Whenever the Clippers needed a basket, it would always have to be Chris Paul that did it for him. It wasn't Blake Griffin that they looked to, but it was Chris Paul. But now that we see that Blake Griffin is the leader of the team, the Clippers are 4-0. They beat the Trailblazers just 2 days ago, and also they beat them on a buzzer beater by not Milos, not Pat Bev, not Lou Will, but a three-pointer by Blake Griffin. So it kind of brings the question, are the Clippers better without Chris Paul? And in my opinion, I believe that they are. Now, I understand that their opponents, they beat the Suns, the Lakers, I also understand that they beat the Blazers, which the Blazers are not a bad team. It was a good front court versus back court game. But at the end of the day, we need to understand that this is Blake Griffin's team now. If he can just take them to the conference finals, he's already done more than Chris Paul has ever done for that team. And another thing I want to also address is that Blake Griffin, we need to realize that he has all the tools to be even better than Chris Paul was for the Clippers. We do realize that, right? This team has a lot of potential. When you look at Blake Griffin's numbers so far, averaging 26 points per game, nearly 5 assists, 9 rebounds, doing it on over 50% field goal shooting, also taking about 6 three-pointers a game and shooting over 43% from 3. That's amazing. That is ridiculous for a big man, hell, for any player, if we're being honest. Also, Pat Bev is averaging 14 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and doing it on 50% field goal shooting and 47% shooting from 3. That's amazing for Pat Bev. Even Lou Williams, 13 points per game, 4 assists, also doing it on 45% field goal shooting and 35% shooting from 3. And when you look at DeAndre Jordan, a man who many have said that is dependent on Chris Paul for his success on the Los Angeles Clippers over the past few seasons. When you look at what he's doing, yes, I understand he's shooting less percentage from the field and he's averaging less points than last season, but he's also averaging over 5 rebounds a game more than last season, and he's doing it on even more offensive rebounds because he's averaging nearly 6 offensive rebounds a game, which is ridiculous. I don't care, if it's just 4 games or not. That is a ridiculous average. That is amazing for DeAndre Jordan. And also, when you consider the fact that Milos has been out for the past 2 games due to injury, I mean, when he comes back, that's going to be something that the Clippers are going to have to add on to their team, which is going to even make them more of a threat in the Western Conference. If this team can just grab one more star, they are going to be deep contenders in this conference. Not saying they're going to beat the Golden State Warriors and make the finals and win it all, but no, I am saying that they can be a top 3 team in the West after this season, which will make the trade of Chris Paul actually in their favor. I believe that getting rid of Chris Paul was the right thing to do, and keeping Blake was the even better thing to do, because now they have an identity. Now they have a franchise guy that they can build around in Blake Griffin, and I believe that Blake Griffin will prove that he can lead a team, that he can be the best player on a championship team. Not saying it's going to happen or it's a guarantee, but he's going to prove that he has the talent to do so. And let's never forget that this is the same guy that not just a few seasons ago was averaging 25 points and 12 rebounds in the playoffs and also 6 assists. And let's not forget that we considered this guy a top 10 player at one point in time in his career, and if it wasn't for injuries, who knows if he'd still be in that top 10. So I'm sitting here and I'm telling you guys that Chris Paul, yes, he was a factor for this team, but getting rid of him not only made this team better because now they have a guy that they know is their guy for the future, and they can, you know, build their offense around him, run the plays through him, and also build their franchise around him. But they've surrounded him with pieces that they wouldn't have had it not been for them getting rid of Chris Paul and trading him to Houston in order to get Pat Bev, Sam Dekker, Lou Williams, Harrell, and a pick. If it was not for that trade, they would not be able to build around Blake and put pieces together. And also, let me show some love to Danilo Gallinari, because I also do know that he's averaging 13 points a game and nearly 6 rebounds a game. So I'm gonna show him some love there. So my point of this is, getting rid of Chris Paul made them focus on a certain player, put pieces around him to where he can excel in his abilities, and then focus on his skill set and perfect his craft. And now they have a franchise piece in Blake Griffin that they can build around, and now they can add pieces that fit his abilities. It's like when you look at the Sixers and when you look at Ben Simmons, who's clearly the best player on that team. You could argue Joel Embiid, I'm not gonna, you know, debate you on that, but Ben Simmons is clearly the franchise guy that they're going to be building around, because Joel Embiid is not really healthy all the time and he can't play 82 games in a season ever. I mean, let's just be honest here. When you look at Ben Simmons, the pieces around him are suitable for him. He has shooters to where he can just kick it out to someone like a Markelle or a JJ Redick, or someone even like a Joel Embiid who can space the floor, or a Robert Covington or a Saric. You guys get my point here. So when you look at someone like Blake Griffin, he has players such as DeAndre Jordan in his front court, Milos there to passing the ball off of screens. You also look at someone like Pat Bev, who can space the floor and play great in elite defense. You also look at Lou Williams. You get my drift here. They have certain pieces around them to where the pieces fit Blake Griffin's playing style, and they wouldn't have gotten those pieces had it not been for them trading Chris Paul. I mean, let's be real. The Clippers last year were what, a 5th, 4th seed? I mean, they were the 4th seed, but they tied with Utah with the same record. So if they were the 6th seed this year, which I expect them to be, if they're the 6th seed, I mean, that's basically what they're supposed to be. And if they get the 5th seed, I think that's overachieving in my opinion. So that's about a seed below or the exact same position. If they can win at least 50 games, I think they've overachieved, and I think that even proves and validates that they are better without Chris Paul. Because in this stacked West, where you have the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Warriors, the Spurs, the Rockets, formidable and championship contending teams in the Western Conference, I think that's going to be something that you also add to show that the Clippers are very good. This is a team that is great offensively when they need to be, because they have Blake and DeAndre in that front court who can basically dominate that paint. They're great defensively. I'm not saying that they're an elite team. I'm saying that they're good to great in all aspects of the game of basketball. There's nothing that they can't do. They can space the floor with Pat Bev, Lou Will, and also Gallinari. Blake can space the floor. They have great post protection with DeAndre Jordan. They have great paint, players in someone like Blake and DeAndre. Their front court is among the top 5 front courts in the league. They have a backcourt that can defend in Pat Beverly. They have an elite defender, an all-NBA defender in Pat Bev. You also have Milos when he comes back. He's a great, fantastic passer. Austin Rivers is a solid bench player, because at the end of the day, whether you hate Austin Rivers or not, I understand that he is the coach's son, but he's still a solid bench player. You also have someone like Gallinari who can space the floor. This team has pieces to where they can make a playoff run and maybe upset a team in the first round. If they get to the second round, that's already better than what the Clippers were last year. So it's pretty obvious that Chris Paul, his impact on the Clippers, yes, it's evident. We understand that. But now that they've gotten rid of him, they were able to add pieces that fit Blake Griffin. So that's why I believe that building around Blake is better than building around Chris Paul, in my personal opinion. Hence, I believe the Clippers are better without Chris Paul. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Comment down below your opinion. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell next to my name to be notified after each and every video that I post. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and add me on Snapchat. The links will be down below in the description box. So without further ado, this is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Peace.
Okay, you popped up on me by surprise. See, I never took you for the popping type. Damn, it's 4 AM, so please believe the hype. Hit the lights, I'm way over top. Pop it, flick it. Drop a pin, send a location.